You are taught very early that your body is not a private place. Before you understand power, you understand watching. Eyes follow you as you move through rooms that belong to you in name only. Every gesture is noted. Every pause is measured. You learn not to ask why people are looking. You learn to move as if being seen is natural. You are told who you are before you decide anything for yourself. Your tutors do not speak of choice. They speak of necessity, of lineage, of balance, of survival. You are not prepared for happiness. You are prepared to function. Your voice is corrected. Your posture is adjusted. Even your silence is shaped. You notice that nothing about you is ever allowed to remain unfinished. An unfinished thing invites interpretation. Interpretation invites danger. You learn languages not to express yourself, but to be understood precisely. You learn history not to admire it, but to avoid repeating the wrong parts. You learn to listen longer than you speak. When you do speak, you make sure every word has a place to land. Affection is inconsistent, approval is conditional, attention is constant. You realize slowly that your childhood is already over, even though your body has not caught up yet. There is no ceremony for this realization. It arrives quietly, during lessons, during rehearsed smiles, during the first time you notice that people react to what you represent rather than what you say. You are told that Egypt must be seen through you. That is the assignment, not spoken aloud, never written down. From that moment on, you are no longer growing. You are being maintained. Your life is Cleopatra. You learn very early that your life is not measured in years. It is measured in attention. Before you understand desire, you understand control. Your body is touched, adjusted, positioned, not with cruelty, with precision. You are never asked how something feels. You are told how it must look. You are watched before you are known. Your name begins to arrive in rooms before you do. People prepare themselves for you. Their posture changes. Their voices soften or sharpen. You learn to notice this without reacting because reaction becomes part of the record. Nothing about you is private enough to be harmless. You are instructed without being ordered. Guidance is delivered as inevitability. This is how things are done. This is what is required. This is what survives. Choice is never mentioned because choice would suggest alternatives. You are told that your body is Egypt. At first, the sentence means nothing. Later, it becomes impossible to escape. Your face must remain composed. Not calm, composed. Calm can break. Composition holds even when something inside shifts. You are corrected when your expression lingers too long on a thought. You are corrected when your silence suggests uncertainty. You learn to keep everything internal. Affection is conditional. Safety is temporary. Approval arrives only when you disappear into the role correctly. You begin to understand that you are not being raised. You are being maintained. Your voice is trained to sound deliberate even when you do not decide. Your movements are slowed so they cannot be misread. Speed invites interpretation. Interpretation invites danger. You are never alone enough to forget who you are supposed to be. At night, you lie still longer than necessary, listening to the building breathe around you. You do not imagine escape. Escape requires a place where you would still exist as yourself. You do not know where that would be. What you understand, clearly and without drama, is this. You are not living towards something. You are being held in place. And whatever happens later, whatever history decides to remember, it will begin here with the moment you realize that your life is no longer yours to lose. Your days are not divided by rest. They are divided by exposure. You wake before anyone speaks to you because being seen unprepared has consequences. Hands arrive quickly, efficiently. They dress you without asking where you are cold. They arrange you without asking where you are tense. Your body is treated like a surface that must remain readable. You learn that routine is not repetition. It is containment. Every gesture is practiced until it no longer belongs to you. You sit without shifting. You stand without leaning. You move slowly enough that nothing can be misinterpreted as impulse. Impulse is dangerous. It suggests desire, and desire invites questions no one wants answered. You speak carefully, not because words are risky, but because silence is interpreted. Silence is never empty. It is filled by those who watch you. You learn to give them something neutral to hold. Your voice becomes steady before your thoughts are. Men enter and leave your presence with plans already formed. They speak as if you are central. They act as if you are peripheral. You recognize this contradiction and learn to survive inside it. Survival does not require clarity. It requires endurance. You are praised for composure, never for honesty. You are told that you are powerful. You notice that power in your case means remaining unchanged while everything around you shifts. You are not meant to move history forward, you are meant to stabilize it. The routine tightens. Your face is no longer allowed to rest. It must always be prepared for meaning. Even alone, you feel the pull to arrange yourself correctly, as if the walls themselves are watching. The habit settles deep. You stop resisting it. There are moments when you feel something rise, anger, fear, exhaustion, and you push it down without thinking. The movement is automatic. You have learned where those feelings lead. They lead to vulnerability. Vulnerability is remembered. You eat because it is scheduled. You sleep because the day ends. Your body continues because it is required to continue. Desire fades into something quieter, less defined. You begin to mistake this quiet for discipline. It is not discipline. It is narrowing. You understand now that your life is not built from events, but from maintenance. The same actions repeated carefully, so nothing collapses. You are praised when nothing happens. And slowly, without being announced, you stop expecting anything else. There is no single moment when you realize it is ending. Endings are too loud for how your life has been lived. What you feel instead is a thinning, a gradual loosening of the structure that once held you in place. Meetings grow shorter. Instructions become indirect. People speak to you with a care that feels different, not protective, but cautious, as if preparing themselves for a version of the world where you are no longer required to hold it together. You are still watched, but the watching has changed. It no longer waits for guidance, it waits for confirmation. You understand then that your role was never to decide the future. It was to delay its collapse, to keep things standing long enough for others to move into position. You were not central, you were useful. Your body begins to feel heavy in a way that has nothing to do with age, not pain, not weakness, just a growing awareness that you have carried an image longer than a person can carry anything without being shaped by it completely. You look at yourself and see only what must still be maintained. There is no space left for fear. Fear requires uncertainty. What remains now is clarity, and clarity is colder. You understand exactly how narrow your existence has become, how little room there is to step outside it without everything collapsing at once. You do not rage against this. Rage would suggest there is still something to reclaim. Instead, you feel a quiet detachment, a sense that the image will survive you without difficulty, that the name will continue to move through rooms long after your voice stops shaping it. History prefers symbols. Symbols do not require breath. You sit alone more often now, or what passes for alone. The silence around you is careful, respectful, distant. It does not invite you to speak. It waits for you to remain composed. You think briefly about what will be remembered. Not your exhaustion, not your restraint, not the constant effort it took to remain legible to everyone else. Those things leave no trace. When the end finally approaches, it does not arrive as drama. It arrives as inevitability, the same way your life did. You do not feel chosen. You do not feel condemned. You feel finished. And in that last quiet space, before the image fully detaches from the person who carried it, you understand the truth that history will never record. You were never allowed to disappear, only to be replaced. The crown remains. The name remains. And whatever you were beneath it is left behind. Not mourned, not corrected, simply unnecessary. That is how your life concludes, not as a fall, not as a triumph, but as a presence that is no longer required. to hold its shape.